Winter weather returns. A massive storm system that's stretching as far south as the Gulf of Mexico is extending its reach to Michiana.
Right now, every city in our viewing area can expect heavy, wet snow to be falling hard and fast in a matter of hours.
You might have thought we were in the clear with winter weather, but Mother Nature's got another idea. Good morning, Michiana. I'm Emily Evans.
And I'm Drew Gardner. The timing of this late season snowmaker is shaping up to make it one of the worst winter storms of the season as far as impact.
And let's turn things over to meteorologist Greg Bobus, who's timing it all out for us. Greg, good morning.
Hey, good morning. You nailed it right there. It's the timing and the impact of this system that really could not get any worse. We're dropping the heaviest snow of this system that could fall as much as an inch or so per hour right in the middle of your evening drive tonight. And it's going to start really snowing in just a couple of hours here, but the heaviest of this snow will be later this afternoon toward the evening, right when we're trying to get the kids home from school and we're trying to get home from work. That's going to be the worst time to be on the roads. Take a look right now. We're already starting up with some frozen precipitation here. Freezing rain and sleet down toward Rochester and Warsaw, already seeing some snow in our far southwestern counties here. So we're talking about an impact that's going to start in just a few hours in South Bend. If you're in the Rochester, Warsaw areas, well, expect a longer drive in than if you're further north. This does, again, stretch pretty far to the south. Take a look. This is a massive system, and for us, it's just going to be a winter weather maker. We're talking about timing, snowfall totals, the impact. We'll talk about what type of snow it is for shoveling and what it could mean for not just tonight, but also tomorrow morning's commute. We have a lot to get to, and we'll start chipping away at it in about 10 minutes, guys.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Greg.
Now let's get a first check of your traffic with 95.3 MNC's Mark McGill. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Emily and Drew. So far, so good at 5 o'clock here on this Wednesday morning. The storm is on the way, but it's not quite here yet. So if you're heading out this morning right now to get to work or head out of town, you should be okay leaving Michiana this morning. So far, the roads are dry and nothing is falling, so that is good news. A new project, though, ongoing in South Bend today. Eastbound Wayne is closed from Maine to Michigan. Now, no left turns are permitted from Maine to Wayne. That's eastbound. Westbound, it's just fine. That will remain open. Also, work being done on Wayne Street from the east end of the Wayne Street Garage to the west end of the Wayne Street Garage, and still intersection work being done at Western and Taylor to Western and Lafayette to Lafayette and South. So far, so good on the roads. Crash-free. The roads are still dry. The bypass is fine. Toll road running smoothly, too. And so far, no delays at the South Bend Airport. Have a safe drive in this morning. Be careful. The storm's on the way. From the MNC Traffic Center, I'm Mark McGill, ABC 57 News.
And with that winter storm looming, many in Michiana, of course, are preparing for today's snow.
We caught up with Michiana residents to find out their reaction to snow coming this late in the season. Some people we talked to weren't surprised to see more of the white stuff on the way. Road crews in Michiana were out in force getting ready.
When the weather comes, the guys all pretty much know that it's overtime, and you know, our primary goal here is to get the streets clean and make them safe.
While we'll be dealing with the snow, the system started down south. That's where the storms turned deadly.
Well, 2 people were killed and several more injured at a Louisiana RV park. Strong storms moved through St. James Parish, overturning trailers and left debris everywhere. Officials say that has hurt search and rescue efforts. The sheriff says the park normally has about 160 trailers with 300 people, but some work at a nearby chemical plant, and it's not known how many were home when the storm hit.
Early on, folks, volunteers, people who survived the event, everyone was helping. So you found someone injured, we were putting them in POVs, and they were going to hospitals in private vehicles. So that's why we don't have a real good count. We never took the trouble to say, who are you, what's your name, what was your address, is anybody else with you?
At least 30 people were injured in the trailer park. 7 more suffered critical injuries.
Be sure to stay with ABC 57 News on this Weather Alert Day. You can get instant weather alerts on air, online at abc57.com, and on Facebook and Twitter. You can also stay informed by downloading the ABC 57 weather app to keep an eye on the radar.
Funeral arrangements have been set for a Berrien County woman killed in the Kalamazoo shooting spree. Mary Lou Nye's funeral is set for Saturday at Emmanuel Lutheran Church in Bridgman. Memorial contributions can be sent to the church's daycare. Plans have not been finalized for her sister-in-law, Mary Jo Nye.
We're also learning more about the victims of Saturday's deadly shootings. Officials say Tiana Caruthers was the first victim shot and she protected her kids. Witnesses say Caruthers was outside playing with her children when the shooter pulled up in his car. She was a few feet away from his car when he began firing. Witnesses say Caruthers shielded them from the bullets.
You look at where bullets ended, looking where the victims were, and looking where the suspect vehicle was. I truly believe that her actions were very courageous and likely led to the saving of some children's lives.
Investigators say Caruthers later identified the shooter as Jason Dalton from photos. Caruthers is still in the hospital. 6 people were killed. 1 other person was injured in Saturday's shootings.
Stay with ABC 57 News for our continued coverage of the Kalamazoo killings. Keep up with the latest on our website, abc57.com.
And encouraging words on the future of the city of South Bend from Mayor Pete Buttigieg. During last night's State of the City address at IU South Bend, the mayor said South Bend is in better condition than what it was last year. But while the city is growing, tough choices will have to be made to continue that growth. The mayor says South Bend's Smart Streets initiative will come to life this year.
We're going to have big parts of the downtown streets on reduced lanes, and it's going to affect us. But we're doing it because we're going to come out with an even better city.
The mayor also talked about last year's 1,000 Homes program, but while he highlighted the successes, he also had a warning about the financial future. He says he's concerned about the circuit breaker law. Buttigieg says it will cause the city to lose millions of dollars in tax revenue. It's something he says will only be fixed with the help from the Common Council.
I know it's a lot of work, but I couldn't be more enthused about it, and the group I'm working with on the council is I think, of the same mind.
The mayor addressed those concerns over the state circuit breaker tax 2 weeks ago during his annual financial report. The effects of that tax are set to hit in 2020.
It may not feel a whole lot like baseball weather, but it is just around the corner. South Bend Cubs are already getting ready for their home opener in April. If you're wanting to buy tickets for this season, they go on sale March 9th. To sweeten the deal of standing in line at Four Winds Field, the Cubs are offering coffee, donuts, and prizes that morning. South Bend Cubs president Joe Hart says he is excited for for fans.
There's a lot of excitement. Obviously we had a great year last year, setting an all-time franchise record, and we're 44 days away from opening day. We've had some good weather over the last couple days, so with spring training going on now, people are really excited.
First game will be at home April 7th against the West Michigan Whitecaps. It's now 5:08. Coming up at 6:15, this week's Made in Michiana may just send you packing. How this company is leaving its mark around the world.
And it's another notch in Donald Trump's belt after walking away with a victory in Nevada. A look at what's happening on the campaign trail.
We got a winter storm moving in today. It's already impacting our southernmost counties, and this is just getting started. We have a good 24 to 30 hours left before this enters and exits, and by the time it is done, it will have packed a punch. We'll time it all out coming up next.
For fans.
There's a lot of excitement. Obviously we had a great year last year, setting an all-time franchise record, and we're 44 days away from opening day. We've had some good weather over the last couple days, so with spring training going on now, people are really excited.
First game will be at home April 7th against the West Michigan Whitecaps. It's now 5:08. Coming up at 6:15, this week's Made in Michiana may just send you packing. How this company is leaving its mark around the world.
And it's another notch in Donald Trump's belt after walking away with a victory in Nevada. A look at what's happening on the campaign trail.
We got a winter storm moving in today. It's already impacting our southernmost counties, and this is just getting started. We have a good 24 to 30 hours left before this enters and exits, and by the time it is done, it will have packed a punch. We'll time it all out coming up next. The weather outside is frightful.
The weather is frightful. I'm trying to...
We actually have Emily
Kinzer's on Kern
live.
Road. She's got the story. Come on, Emily, how's it going?
Good morning, Emily. I'm here at the Phillips 66 off of Kern Road, and the weather may be frightful in some places, but where I am right now, pretty breezy and pretty cold. low 30s right now, not seeing any of snow or freezing rain at this moment, but we do know that it's coming. If you're getting out on the roads this morning, headed to work or school or wherever you may be going on this frightful Wednesday morning, bundle up. That is the biggest thing right now. It's very breezy and getting very cold, so make sure you're bringing out the scarves and gloves and boots and all of your winter gear, because you will be needing it today and on into the afternoon when we do start seeing that impactful snow, and for the rest of the week. So for any of you heading out this morning, be prepared for this weather that's coming up. I'm live in South Bend. Emily Kinzer, ABC 57 News.
All that winter gear got a little brief break, but
it's back
out.
It's back out. Oh, also, you saw her in front of a gas station there. If the winter weather hasn't quite gotten to where you're at yet and you don't have a full tank, might be a good day to gas up too, because the next couple of days are going to be a little bit messy, and that's just one less thing you've got to do once everything gets rolling. Because those are things I always forget about, and I'm on E, and there's a foot of snow on the ground seat. So Drew, as soon as the show's over, make sure you're getting out there, because it's just one less thing to do, you know?
Yeah.
Take care of all the stuff you have to in the next couple of hours through about mid-morning, and then just find a reason to stay inside if you can later today, because this is going to be a wallop of a storm, and the worst of it's going to come down during the afternoon hours, during our afternoon drive. And that's what's going to be the worst about this system. We're not going to get the most in terms of snowfall totals that we've seen so far this year. But man, it's going to come down at the worst time. If we were to get an inch of snow per hour from, say, midnight to 4 a.m., it's not good, but it's not as bad as it's going to be if you get an inch of snow per hour from, say, 4 o'clock this afternoon through 8. That's what we're talking about here. Freezing precipitation already. We're talking about freezing rain, sleet possible down by Warsaw in Rochester. This lifting north ever so slowly. We zoom in here, and you can see that, again, this is moving pretty quickly. We went on the air about 45 minutes ago, and this was just right around the Rochester area. It's already covered some ground. Warsaw has already been eclipsed by this as well. This will continue to move to the north. This will eventually transition to all snow, and a lot of indicators showing that this may be all snow by mid-morning. Now, not a lot of it's going to stick right away, because our ground is very warm, but it will start accumulating as we get toward the later stages of today, and it'll really pick up again during the evening drive. Winter storm warning in effect. This has been upgraded since yesterday morning. The threats, hazardous to almost dangerous driving. Limited visibility thanks to wind later on today, blowing and drifting snow during the evening drive. We'll have heavy snow coming down at that time. It's going to be hard for snow crews to keep up with it no matter how much they try, because of how quickly it will come down. We'll have some downed trees possible, power outages possible thanks to the heavy snow and the wind. This is going to be an impacting event, not necessarily a snowfall totals event here. Whether we see 4 inches or we see 8 inches, the impact is going to be the exact same. Red light late in the day. If you can stay off the roads after 3 o'clock this afternoon, do it. If you've got to go out, plan with a lot of extra time and absolutely defensive winter driving today as you head out the door. Tons of this system is left for us here. This is stretching as far down south as the Gulf of Mexico, where it popped some tornado warnings yesterday. None of that for us. We get the cold version here going through today, but you see this is already some freezing rain. You saw how much of this system is still left, so let's take a look at what we're going to see. 7 a.m., some signs are already pointing to this already being snow, and heavy snow sets in going toward the afternoon. The dark blues during evening drive time. This doesn't wrap up shop until right around morning drive tomorrow. So it could be 2 back-to-back commutes tonight and tomorrow that will both be rough for us here. You see how quickly it moves in. I mean, this system really starting now, ending tomorrow morning, could dump 6 to 8 inches of snow. Now, you'll hear some other reports from some other places, or possibly we might get more than this. This is going to be such wet, dense snow that it's going to compact itself. So if this were fluffier snow, it'd be a lot more than 8 inches. It's going to be that thick, almost glue-like snow trying to shovel. So keep that in mind. High impact event today. Can't stress that enough. Take a look. Temperatures in the 30s right now. We're actually right around where our high is going to be. So didn't even show a temperature map. Just know we're in the 30s right now. We'll stay in the low to mid 30s the entire day. Again, transitioning from freezing rain and sleet to snow later this afternoon. We're going to shift gears and get another look outside with Shay Sorensen, who has your neighborhood forecast for you. Good morning, Shay.
Good morning, Greg. Well, this morning I'm in Warsaw, Indiana, and yeah, it's already starting to rain here, but like you mentioned, Greg, the ground is still too warm for us to see any sleet or freezing rain just yet, so it is just melting as it hits the ground. So just dealing with some rain right now, but again, if temps get a little bit cooler, we could start to see that freezing rain once again. So make sure you take it easy out there, drive safely. Visibility is still looking good here in Warsaw, though. As for a few fun facts about Warsaw, we'll go ahead and dive right into it. Warsaw was named after the capital of Poland and was platted in 1836. Early Warsaw contained traders, trappers, and merchants supplying manufactured goods to area farmers. The Pennsylvania Railroad, then known as the Pittsburgh, Fort Wayne, and Chicago Railroad, reached Warsaw in 1854. The railroad helped the community thrive, and in 1895, Warsaw was home to the world's first manufacturer of orthopedic appliances. Fun fact, today Warsaw is known as the orthopedic capital of the world. As for your weather facts this morning, the record high 65 degrees, that was set back in 1976. The record low 8 below zero, that was back in 1914. And the most snowfall on this day, 10 inches, and that was back in 1967. Your neighborhood forecast in Warsaw today, we are only warming up to the mid-30s, but again, as our temps start to slip to near freezing, we'll start to see the rain change over to snow, if not freezing rain prior to that. Overnight tonight, we're dropping down to the low 30s, and snow will be heavy at times, especially this afternoon. It'll be breezy, reduced visibility. We're expecting about 1 to 3 inches for this afternoon, 2 to 4 overnight, with an additional 1 to 2 inches Thursday morning into the early afternoon. So again, drive safely, dress warm. We're going to start to see our temps cool down as well. I'm live in Warsaw this morning. Chase Sorensen, ABC 57 News.
In your voice, your vote, Donald Trump is one step closer to securing the GOP nomination.
He pulled away a winner in Nevada while the Democrats did battle in South Carolina.
ABC's Kenneth Moten reports on the race that's now heating up.
This morning, Donald Trump on a winning streak after another decisive victory, this time Nevada.
We love Nevada. We love Nevada.
Love for Trump, but that anger at Washington and a strong desire for an outsider gave the GOP frontrunner an easy victory over his rivals.
Of course, if you listen to the pundits, we weren't expected to win too much, and now we're winning the country.
It's a fight for second between Republican establishment favorite Marco Rubio and Iowa caucus winner Ted Cruz.
And the only campaign that can beat Donald Trump is this campaign.
Ben Carson and John Kasich were at the bottom of the pack. They vowed to march on to Super Tuesday. The Democrats are also focused on Tuesday, but first, South Carolina.
Why is there one standard for me and not for everybody else, Greg?
Hillary Clinton fired up during a CNN town hall after a federal judge ruled the former Secretary of State's top aides should testify over her use of private email. But ahead of the Democratic primary in the Palmetto State, the focus was on African Americans who make up half of the electorate.
We must sustain and strengthen the historically black colleges and universities.
Racism, along with economic issues, educational issues, and all the rest, have to be addressed.
Clinton has campaign events in South Carolina today. Sanders is in Missouri and Oklahoma. The Republicans are taking part in a voter summit hosted by Trump's Fox News nemesis Megyn Kelly. Trump declined the invite, citing a scheduling conflict. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
A commotion over a judge's order asking Apple to help the FBI break into one of the San Bernardino shooter's iPhones is growing. This was the scene outside of a Boston Apple store yesterday. Earlier this month, a judge ordered the tech company to find a way to get inside Saeed Farouk's phone. Apple says that would require new software that could be installed on anyone's phone, putting all customer security at risk. Protesters are showing solidarity with Apple and its refusal to comply.
It'll open the door for everything across the board, which is scary because there's things out there that people are doing that may or may not be illegal or may just be very personal. You don't want everyone knowing that.
There were more than 24 other protests around the nation yesterday. It's 5:20. Cheap gas is putting more money in Americans' pockets.
But the low oil prices are hitting some communities hard. A look at a golf town that's now struggling to survive.
Here's today's code word. Log on and enter at abc57.com for your chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. Watch, win, and hit it big with ABC 57 News.
Another round of snow fell overnight, and now your morning drive could be dangerous. You're in for a messy morning commute.
Yeah, and this is a live look at the radar this morning where you can see the winter whiteout isn't over yet.
Plus, dozens of schools already canceled and travel restrictions remain in place. ABC 57 is keeping you safe with team coverage. Good morning, Michiana. It's Thursday, February 25th. I'm Emily Evans.
And I'm Drew Gardner. You can expect a messy morning commute. Already several area school districts have closed. Many of the big ones last night made the decision to close early. That was South Bend, Elkhart, Benton Harbor, also Penn Harris Madison, all closed. It's easier to say the ones that are open this morning. We do want to note Michigan City on a 2-hour delay, so we'll be watching that one to see if that gets upgraded to a full closure. But a lot of kids staying home today.
Yeah, quite a list this morning. The roads are very difficult to navigate. ABC 57 has team weather coverage this morning. Evan Siri and Brandon Pope are live in South Bend and Elkhart. But let's get an update now on the track of the storm from meteorologist Greg Bobus. Greg, good morning.
Good morning. That does not look fun where Evan and Brandon are right now. It's a little bit easier to manage that right now indoors. Take a look at what we're handling waking up this morning. We did put down some snow. Many early estimates of some snowfall totals here through about midnight are anywhere in the 5 to 7, 8-inch range, and we're not done yet. So by the time all said and done, our forecast of 6 to 8 inches with some pockets that get close to a foot, absolutely going to hold true. You take a look. We don't have that much left in terms of time frame of snow. We'll talk about how much longer the snow is going to come down, why we're still under a winter storm warning, and where we're going to go once this finally exits the area. Your forecast up in just a few minutes.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you, Greg.
Now let's get a first check of your traffic with 95.3 MNC's John Zimning. Good morning, John.
Thank you, Drew. Good morning, Emily. We are off to, well, a better start than what could be expected on a day like today. You'll find roads in the metro area pretty much slushy for the most part, but in the rural areas, still very snow-packed and snow-covered, very slippery all around no matter where you're driving. That includes the bypass and the toll road. Again, you'll want to drive today for the road conditions and not necessarily the speed limit. We've been hearing from police agencies all over since last evening, still dealing with dozens of slide-offs and spin-outs. Now, travel watches and warnings to deal with today as well. Under a watch, St. Joseph County, Elkhart, LaPorte, Stark, and Kosciuszko County. This means essential travel only, such as to and from work or in emergency situations. We do have travel warnings, though, in effect all around the region as well, including, and this just in, Marshall County, now under a travel warning. That means you cannot travel, emergency vehicle travel only, and you could get ticketed or fined if they stop you. Also, Fulton County, Porter Lake, very difficult to try to get to Chicago this morning if you do need to. You'll want to definitely postpone that trip because a travel warning again means you can't travel at all. Only emergency vehicles are allowed to do so. We'll continue to monitor the situation throughout the morning for you and update you on any bypass or toll road crashes as well. From the 95.3 MNC Traffic Center, I'm John Zimney, ABC 57 News.
Okay, John, thank you. Yesterday's heavy snow has also caused widespread power outages across the area.
Yeah, here's a look at the current totals. In Indiana, LaPorte County has more than 680 customers without power this morning. And in St. Joseph County, there are almost 400 outages reported. In Michigan, Berrien County has almost 1,500. And in Van Buren County, about 550 people without power.
And we continue our team weather coverage now. ABC 57's Brandon Pope is live in Elkhart, but first, we'll check in with Evan Siri, who's in South Bend. Evan, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Emily and Drew. Well, I hope you guys can see me right now because my camera's getting a little bit of a beating there. I've been cleaning it here off and off in the last few minutes, but this snow is just non-stop right now, and the winds are howling. Let's take a look at Douglas Road just an hour ago. You can see heavy snow falling, and this is how it's been throughout the entire night. Just that stuff has been falling all morning long, all day yesterday into today, and it really just doesn't seem to have any brakes on it, at least not right now. The roads also not too good. Snowplows and salt trucks have been doing their jobs all night long, but the snow just keeps on falling, and that's why it's been so hard for it to get cleared up. So if you can, you should stay home. If you must, of course, use caution. We ask that you brake early and often, and don't get ahead of those salt trucks and snowplows. Don't get too close to them either. Let them do their jobs. But we'll keep you updated in the next few minutes here from downtown South Bend as road crews behind me, well, they're also doing their jobs. We've got one guy over there singing, so he's happy. And if he's happy, I'm happy, guys. Reporting live in South Bend, Evan Siri, ABC 57 News.
Okay, Evan, thank you. Glad you're staying cheerful out there. And here's a look at travel advisories in our area. Several counties are under a travel watch. That means travel should be restricted to just to and from work and only in emergency situations. LaPorte, St. Joseph, Elkhart, Stark are under a travel watch. Kosciuszko and Pulaski counties also have a travel watch in effect. In Marshall and Fulton counties, a travel warning is now in effect. This means officials ask you don't travel there at all. Storms across the upper Midwest have caused a number of flight delays this morning. Only 3 flights have been canceled so far out of South Bend International Airport. Those are the 6:20 flight to Newark, the 7:50 flight to Atlanta, and the 8:28 flight to Chicago. So far, only 1 flight delayed. That's the 7:30 flight to Minneapolis. If you're planning to fly today, check with your airline to find out the status of your flight.
And we do have one big significant update that's going to impact commuters. The South Shore is suspending all service to and from Chicago due to a blizzard-related damage. Again, South Shore suspending all trains to and from Chicago this morning. But back out on the roads now, several reports of accidents and slide-offs came in overnight. ABC 57's Brandon Pope continues our live team coverage in Elkhart near Concord Mall. And Brandon, how was the drive out there?
Hey Drew, snow and wet is a sure bet as you're on the roads today. Very slick and very difficult, especially on those county roads heading towards Elkhart from South Bend. You got blowing snow in your face, so that is actually obstructing your vision, but also the oncoming traffic and traffic behind you, the lights there can also be obstructing because the light bounces right off the snow. So you really got to take it easy out there when you're getting on the roads. Also, when you're making turns, believe it or not, you might be going a little bit too fast if you're going 25 miles per hour here if you're trying to make any turns at all, because you're going to find yourself slipping right around. So you got to be extra cautious out there. I'm right here on Elkhart Road where traffic moving along pretty smoothly right now. People trying to work right now as that snow is blowing through. Roads it's pretty slick, people taking it easy, so you want to make sure that you're not pushing that pedal to the metal too much out there. We're going to keep up to date here with you on the latest driving conditions and how things are progressing here in Elkhart County throughout the morning. I'm live in Elkhart, Brandon Pope, ABC 57 News.
Well, the Curve Cafe in Mishawaka is giving a big thank you to police and snowplow drivers. Our friends over at Flavor 574 report the Curve Cafe opened at about 8 o'clock last night and will remain open until this afternoon. They're offering free coffee and soft drinks to public service workers.
We wanted to give the opportunity for police and snowplows to have someplace to come and warm up and get some fresh coffee. We're even letting them get coffee to go.
The cafe also has a limited menu featuring biscuits and gravy and cinnamon rolls while supplies last.
With schools and several businesses closed, many of you will start to dig out today. This morning we have a safety alert. While road crews were out clearing off the streets overnight, the work begins this morning for the rest of us. A lot of you will probably grab the shovel to clear the sidewalks and driveways. That means a lot of back-breaking work. And to protect yourself, Beacon Health System has a few tips. The first is to shovel properly.
I think you're going to want to go in increments anyways, if it's heavy or light. So I would recommend, just like when you're walking in, or when you're doing anything else, lifting, you just you want to lift with your legs, not your back. You want to have proper alignment always. And if you're feeling fatigued at all, you want to go back in and relax and then come back out.
If you start to feel fatigued or short of breath, stop immediately and get some rest before going back out to shovel again.
And now to the latest on school closings. 2 just into the newsroom. The Elkhart Center, also IUSB, both closed. Other schools in Indiana: South Bend, Penn Harris, Madison, Mishawaka, Elkhart, Bremen, Plymouth, and Warsaw schools are all closed today. In Michigan, Benton Harbor, Buchanan, Niles, and Edwardsburg schools are closed. For a complete listing of closings and delays, you see it there on your screen. Head to our website, abc57.com.
And be sure to stick with us throughout the show here on ABC and later on the CW25 beginning at 7. Our team is working to keep you safe. Stay with us on the air, online at abc57.com, and on Facebook and Twitter.
Time now is 5:10. A deadly storm slams the East Coast, dropping tornadoes in Virginia.
It's the same storm system that's already killed at least 3 people across the South and dumped several inches of snow over the Ohio Valley.
And this is a live look in St. Joseph County. It'll be a slushy and messy commute this morning as you head out to work. ABC 57's Evan Siri will have a look at conditions coming up in just a few minutes.
And still blue all over the radar right now, but that's going to change in the next few hours. The impact going to be felt all morning long, but at least the snow will begin to wrap up within the next several hours. And we'll look at the timing of that coming up next.
Good Thursday morning. Time now is 5:13. This is a live look at the camera in Dowagiac overlooking downtown Dowagiac. You can see the snow covering the roads and the buildings there. Snow still falling across much of our region this morning and still seeing impacts coming in. This is some of the latest. South Shore suspending all service to and from Chicago. This is due to blizzard-related damage. Again, that South Shore all service suspended. The Elkhart Center closed for the day, and just in IUSB also closing for the day. So just
a lot of people get to stay home today.
Yeah.
Oh, that must be nice. But you know, for those who do have to head out, it's going to be an interesting morning. We still have snow coming down. You just saw there a lot of snow-covered roads, and it isn't that crews aren't out there trying to get the job done. We just put down so much snow so quickly, and it's really heavy snow as well. And heading out, driving around town this morning, it's going to look a lot like this. We're not making the jump to light speed, but when you're driving around town, if you're driving into the snow, this is what it looked like coming into my windshield this morning when I was driving into the snow. So this is the kind of thing you can expect the next couple hours, is the wind is still whipping. So if you had the chance and you're in one of these situations where wherever you have to go is closed today, or the kids are staying home from school, don't head out until a couple hours into the morning, because the next few hours are going to be the highest impact here, as snow's still coming down, snow still on the ground from yesterday. A lot of stoplights are also covered with snow, especially ones facing north. So if you're driving south down a lot of roadways this morning, you'll see that there will be some snow cover on a lot of stoplights. If you come to an intersection where a lot of the stoplights are covered, you treat it as a four-way stop. So make sure you keep that in mind. Going into the afternoon, impact lessens because the snow stops. There will still obviously be snow on roadways, but the snow will again eventually begin to end as we get toward the early afternoon hours. We still have a winter storm warning in effect that kicked in yesterday morning. We had the blizzard warning that was in effect as well. This is until 4 o'clock this afternoon, but I would not be surprised if it gets lifted a little bit early after the snow stops. Hazardous driving, down trees, down power lines, all the things we've been talking about is still a threat the next couple of hours in the forecast. As far as where we're going and where we've been, you take a look, this is a huge system, huge, but most of it is off to the east now. We come back home, we're on the far western edge of this. It's not going to last that much longer. You give it a few more hours into this morning, snow begins to finally taper off, and it will finally clear out by the time we get toward the afternoon. So here's where it's at. And again, the winter storm warning until 4 p.m. today. Watches and warnings have already been canceled, though, to our immediate west. So that's why I anticipate it might get dropped a little before 4 p.m. We do have some heavy snow in some spots. So let's stop the motion here and take a look at live Doppler radar. It looks a little less impressive this way. So we're not all getting snow everywhere here. This is a great picture compared to what it was even 6 hours ago, and it will begin to thin out, continuing to go in the next several hours. Some of the heaviest snow we're seeing right now, though, in LaPorte County, stretching down toward the Rochester area. A nice band of some snow there. You can follow along with that radar anytime you want with the First Warning Weather app. Just download that and you've got it with you wherever you go all the time. 7 o'clock on Forecast Track. Again, we're not all getting snow there, and by 9 o'clock, this really begins to decrease in scope. By 2 o'clock this afternoon, I think just about everybody completely snow-free. We're in the low 30s right now in the forecast. We're going to stay there all day. You take a look, temperature right now is at 31. We'll be at 32 this afternoon. So we don't warm up, and we don't see much of a cool down either. Tonight will be colder than last night. We'll be in the 20s. Tomorrow morning, we'll end up seeing a little bit of possible light snow, a few pockets of some light snow. And then that'll be it. Weekend, looking very nice compared to where we've been the past 24 hours. If you take a look here, 43 on Saturday with some sunshine and 47 degrees on Sunday. So that will help us to melt a little bit of the snow and at least to get it off the roads relatively quickly once we push into the weekend. Drew?
All right, Greg, thanks. And as this winter storm continues, so does our team coverage. ABC 57's Evan Siri joining us live again in downtown South Bend. Evan, what's it like out there now?
Hey, good morning, Drew. Well, it's still the same as it's been the last few hours. Howling winds. The snow is coming down pretty hard. This snow is very dense and wet, heavy, easy to pack. If you want to throw a snowball at your brother that's been annoying you during your snow days, perfect for that too. But let's go to some video to show you how heavy and dense this snow is. Earlier this morning before I left for downtown South Bend. I tried cleaning the car, and as you can see by the timing of this, it took about 2 minutes. We sped it up for you guys a little bit, but just to show you that this snow is very heavy and dense, so you're going to want to give yourselves a few extra minutes before you head out this morning, if you have to head out to clean your car. But the roads have been worked on all morning long by these plow trucks, but that snow just keeps coming down, making it very difficult to get it completely clear. And as you can see, my hood just blew off. Very windy out here, so make sure you guys are prepared, wearing what you need to wear to be safe out there. That's it for now, though, for me, reporting live in downtown South Bend. Evan Seary, ABC 57 News.
Millions of Americans are reeling from the vicious storms hammering the eastern two-thirds of the country this morning.
ABC's Candace Gibson has more.
Overnight, millions of Americans hit hard as a deadly winter storm continues its march north. Torrential rains flooding the mid-Atlantic to the northeast. The downpours creating flash floods, washing away cars and creating a mess for the D.C. area.
I thinking like, okay, I will drive, I will be die. I just call God help me. I pray.
In New York, heavy winds overturned this truck on the George Washington Bridge. This time-lapse shows the storm moving into Charlotte, North Carolina. Strong winds toppling trees, homes, and power lines there. More than 160,000 people without power across 7 states. It's the same system that spawned terrifying twisters. In Virginia, a state of emergency in effect. A deadly tornado shredding homes. Among the victims, a young child.
One thing we heard was a 2-year-old baby was found in the woods.
That baby and 2 others pronounced dead.
This is devastating.
Across the region, more than 30 tornadoes in the last day alone. First tearing across Louisiana, destroying this RV park.
God, let us be okay. Let us get through this.
And on the backside of this massive storm, blizzard conditions across the Midwest.
If you don't need to make the trip, don't make the trip today.
In parts of Illinois and Indiana, nearly whiteout conditions, making travel extra difficult. Candace Gibson, ABC News, New York.
It's 5:20, a big win for former Texas Governor Rick Perry.
All indictments have been dropped. Why the court said there were grounds to bring charges.
And coming up during our 6 o'clock hour, Cool Schools heads to Schmucker Middle School this week, where the buddy system is helping build friendships.
And this is live look out of St. Joseph County, where it will be a slow start to your Thursday. Coming up, meteorologist Greg Bobus will have another look at the forecast.
Here's today's code word. Log on and enter at abc57.com for your chance to win a trip to Las Vegas. Watch, win, and hit it big with ABC 57 News.